Hey everybody, Adam Josh here. It is your weekend weather update during the week. So you might have heard that there's a lot of forest fires going on right now in the Iberian Peninsula. And there are many ways that you can easily keep a tab on that by looking at, Google Maps has a spot for air quality and local fires. But so we've been in Portugal for a minute and we've been in the Iberian Peninsula for a while. And let me tell you some things that I've seen, which you can easily verify. But basically, a lot of these forest fires are man-made. And one thing that we've seen while we are driving around is you can understand people are smoking cigarettes and they're flicking their cigarettes out the window. And all along the sides of the highways, you see little brush fires started. And so some of these forest fires that you might be hearing about are entirely man-made, intentionally, I mean. Some of them are unintentionally. Now let me tell you about some other things that I've seen other than those flicking cigarettes things. So we live in the country, right? So we're considered farmers. And another thing that we've seen in our area of Loulé in the Algarve, where you should not see it, is farmers collect a bunch of brush in one spot and then they light it on fire, and then they go for a super Bock or a Segresh or an espresso, and they leave it there. And when I first saw this over a year ago, we didn't know what to do. Coming from Canada and having a little bit of a conservation background, I guess you could say, it freaked us all out. We didn't know, do we call the police? Do we call the bomberos? Do we call firefighters? And this is kind of like a mentality that's really hard to change among the elderly farmer guys in Portugal. So it's just an easy way to clean a bunch of brush. They pile it in one spot and light it on fire. Why stand around and watch the fire? They just leave, especially if they're on the job, right? They leave and they go for Super Bock or Segresh or Padresh or espresso, like I said, and they forget about it. And then it could be still smoldering and having embers going this way and that. Hours, maybe even days later, depending on the time. So there are websites that I follow that let you know, like, what days you should have a fire and what days you absolutely should not have a fire. And basically up until the rainy season, there's a whole section blocked off of times where you should not be having fire, right? But the thing is, you have to be able to read the website, and you have to care about what the website and recommendations are saying. Now, do these old school Portuguese farmers read the websites? Do they care? I don't think so. And you can't stop a lot of the tourists and people coming through on the highway, even the locals, and flicking their cigarettes out the window while they're driving. So it's a really sad thing. I just want to tell you, honestly, what I have seen is that a lot of these forest fires are completely avoidable, and 9 times out of 10, in my experience, the forest fires that I've seen are completely man-made. I would say unintentionally, but what's surprising is that you're seeing a lot of intentionally made forest fires these days. Maybe like activists for, climate change or whatever, trying to raise awareness, so they intentionally light fires. We've seen that in California. And honestly, unintentional fires like lightning or not so much here, but like electrical fires, that happens. But I'm just saying the overwhelming majority from what I've seen and what our family has seen with boots on the ground here has been these old school Portuguese farmers just lighting mounds of debris in the field and lighting it on fire, windy day or not windy day. And I've seen a lot of people flicking cigarettes out the window as they drive. So that's your weather report about the forest fires. I wanted to tell you what I've seen just in case you've been curious or worried. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.